Hello, this is a update on Unit 6. It's summer of 2023, and what I've been doing in this class now is kind of moving some things in the final few units around here to give us more time. In the last 2 years, transformer networks and large language models have really taken over machine learning, and they're touched on in this textbook, but not covered in as much detail as I want. So I'm going to add some. So I've moved some chapters around and squished some things together. So in this unit, we are going to be covering part of chapter 16 on attention. We're going to be looking a little bit at chapter 17, but I actually moved a lot of this into unit 5 before, on generating using autoencoders and GAN. So much of this is actually in the previous unit. And then we'll be talking about transformers and to prepare for next unit, which will be on large language models and things like that. So again, we're getting to the edge of what our textbook can cover because of so many changes in recent years. We'll also be looking to start the final project in this course for this. So a couple things there. We'll be doing some notebooks. We'll be doing a part of chapter 16 notebook on attention here, and then we'll be doing a new type of notebook that I'm actually borrowing from my undergrad course that I use on BERT. This uses a notebook from Hugging Face, which is a well-known open source transformer site and community out there. And so we'll be using that. So in the textbooks we'll be doing over here, I'm just going to walk through this real quick to kind of show you it. And again, I'm going to be less interested in some of this chapter 17 stuff because a lot of that is now being replaced by this. But we are going to look at this attention model and this here. In fact, I want to make this, again, last time I did this was optional. You really need to read these this section on attention. So let me jump to the text here. So this is the section on attention. Let me just make this a little bigger here. And it lays out how attention was kind of started and what attention is from a neural network point of view, starting in 2014 here. And again, we're looking at these encoder-decoder models where we're sending in some information in here. It's encoded into some internal representation and it's decoded often. And again, we might do language translation here. So I might say I drink milk, and then we have the French or Spanish version up here. And again, attention will then help us, like if I say I drink, and then we're trying to predict maybe the next word, milk, here, and output that. Drink is an important word for this. If this was I eat, it would be most likely something different. So once we see drink, it kind of limits what our options are for this final word. And so what it's doing is looking at this and trying to help predict that and figure out which of these words are most important in predicting the output of this. So you should read through that attention model. And again, the math is not that important. And there's this visual attention model. But again, this visual attention model is not, we haven't seen that as useful later on. But attention is all you need. This is the paper that's really changed machine learning since like 2018. It was from a group of Google researchers here, and this is the model that we'll be looking at, the attention model, or the transformer model, and everything like ChatGPT and all these large language models, and just about everything now is running into this here. And so this isn't, the original models here were sequential here. Let me go back. These encoder decoders were sequential and these aren't so much. So we're getting rid of the recurrent connections and we're doing stuff. So some things we'll be doing here will be taking our input, which is text, we'll be embedding it and creating a tokenization for it, which is important, that word tokenization. We'll be also doing positional coding. We don't talk too much about it, but since we're getting rid of sequentially putting in these, we're giving it the whole sentence at once. We also want to encode where each word is in the sentence, and that's with this positional encoding part. So we'll see that we're given a whole sentence, each word, and also what position that word is in the sentence. And then again, we're generally using to predict the probability of what the next word should be with this. And the unit also sees what its past output should be here. So read through this. I don't think this is the greatest explanation, again, because this was kind of early on of this, but it's an okay description of this, and we'll look at some. But this sort of idea, they have what is called multi-headed attention here. And again, how that works isn't that critical here, but it is important to know what it works on. And so we can see some of that here. And then they start talking about these large language models here, transformer models, and like the GPT paper. This is one of the original GPT papers that came BERT, and we'll look a lot at BERT today in this unit also. So, and again, we're getting into these large language models and stuff like that. So, so focus on those. Again, GANs and autoencoders we won't cover so much right now. We covered them some here, and that's what we're seeing with this diffusion AI and these image generation techniques and stuff like that. So these are still being used out there, but again, I want to make sure we have some time, and we did spend some time last unit covering these. So okay, so learning resources. Tokenization is getting to be very important with language models, and so it's important to kind of look at how tokenization works and how we assign a number to every token and what are good tokenization methods. So just walks you through. You may have, I posted this in the last unit. You may want to have looked at it there. If not, you should look at it here for this. And also transformers. I recorded a video that just walks you through transformers and our lead up to transformers here. So I'd suggest you, if you can, watch this video there. I try to build you up into where transformers came from and explain that. Because the textbook does it okay, but not a great job, I have an explore activity. I actually use these a lot in my undergrad course, and I wanted to bring it in here. So what this does is I want you to spend 45 minutes or an hour picking one of these resources, depending on what interests you, and watching it. And then you just have to provide some, what activity did you do? Describe in a sentence something new you learned, something old that you knew, get a quote from it, and a question that you caused. So you can watch some YouTube videos. There are some less technical and some more technical ones. Hugging Face is again a really well-known resource out there for transformers and this sort of stuff. So you can go through some of their lessons here. This is a visual guide to transformer neural networks, and again these videos here. And this is another high-level talk at Stanford talking about the future of large language models and transformers here. So just pick one of these. Again, we want you to spend about 45 minutes doing these resources and another, couple minutes just filling out this sort of stuff. So again, you can kind of choose which ones you want and how much time you can spend on each one. Okay, so that's the explore activities that you'll do. I do have one, usually we just do a notebook and do a write-up with it, and I kept one of them. This should actually say Unit 6 here, sorry. The Unit 6 write-up, again, because it used to be, all this stuff used to be in Unit 7. I moved it back into Unit 6 here, so that we could have more time in Unit 7 to do large language models. So that is still there. I've stripped it down and removed some stuff from it here, so it's a limited version. But I also added this POGL activity. I don't think we've done a POGL activity in this class before. It's a group activity. When we're in person, we do it in class. but I've adapted it for asynchronous work. So you should open up this write-up. Each of you were assigned a role here and what you do. And what we want to do is have the facilitator here make a copy of this here, make a copy of that and share it with the other people in here and send it out to them. And then as you go through this, each person, you're given these roles, and I kind of color coded them. And so so if you're the spokesperson, you'll just do the spokesperson part of this. And again, we don't have discussion this week, so it's another thing to kind of work together on, and feel free to put in comments or help each other as a shared document. So see how you use it. I've used this before in my undergrad asynchronous class before pretty well. So that's this. And then that will use this Hugging Faces BERT pre-trained model. So you get to walk through an actual transformer model and try that out for that. Okay, so you do this one little write-up on your own, and then you'll work together on this larger write-up with Bert. There's no mini project and no discussion this week. Again, we're kind of working together on this POGIL activity here. And then the other thing we want you to do is start the final project here and work on the final project here, and there's a nice video that walks you through that. The first part of the project is the project idea or outline, which is here, these green parts. You want to just figure out what you want to do. Feel free to get a hold of me and talk to me. I talk to lots of students about project ideas and brainstorm ideas like that. So talk to me or get a hold of me if you have questions on that. Okay, so that's our goal for this week.